autor viene a decirnos con mucha firmeza y gran convencimiento lo mismo que nos decía en el siglo XVIII el barón de Holbach, ¿no? Un filósofo francés de origen alemán. Si nos remontamos al comienzo, entonces hallaremos que la ignorancia y el temor crearon a los dioses. La fantasía, el entusiasmo o el engaño los adornaron o desfiguraron. La debilidad les rinde culto, la credulidad los conserva, la costumbre los respeta y la tiranía los apoya para que la ceguera de los hombres sirva a sus propios intereses.
All right, fam. All right, here we go, man. Here we go. We're gonna do something different today. I'm gonna show more videos, but I haven't really shown these videos. Just old stuff that I had recorded, thought about sharing, and I never did. So I'm gonna try to, put it all together, random back and forth, but it's gonna hopefully make sense, man. It's all within the channel's standards. What up, bro? Good to have you here, man. Appreciate you. All right, cool. Brown Ray. All right, so let's start off with this because I do believe that words are definitely weaponized, and they're using this against everybody, not just us, fam. They're using it even against themselves. Let's go.
Can you see how misinformation is a word that can be weaponized? That is exactly what happens in the book. The Ministry of Truth has one job. It's to rewrite the past so that it fits whatever the present narrative is. So imagine if the ministry says chocolate rations have increased, but you, in your memory, can remember that they decreased. Well, the Ministry of Truth will ensure that all the records say they've increased. And because they've limited people's ability to think, that other people will say, you're wrong. And you're caused to doubt your very own lying eyes, to doubt your own internal construction of facts and reality.
Which I think, which I totally believe that, oh, that's right. No wonder I was like, dude, what's that noise and shit? That was weird, bro.
That's the point of this whole class. We're gonna see some videos here, and I hope that you guys can appreciate it. Because, like I said to you before, this Christian religion came from somewhere.
Many of those who early on helped to formulate what is modern day Christianity in Greece and Rome were also African.
When you look at Christianity, you're dealing with the Amen priesthood that's coming directly out of ancient Kemet. You're dealing with the rites and rituals of Osiris, the passions of Osiris, the idea of the resurrection of the dead and his son coming forward, Heru, as his living testament to his life. Aset, who the Greeks call Isis, is the essence of who Mary is. Nebetet, who is her sister, is who Mary Magdalene is. So that when you look at Christianity, I mean, even when you look at the word Chris or Charas, You're dealing with ka rest. Ka means spirit and rest means to rise. The Romans learned the Passion of Osiris through the Greek. And the Greeks learned it through the Kemites or the Africans from Egypt. So that it was just a retelling of the same story, superimposing things that they thought they knew. And that becomes what we today call
Any of those
Is basically the New Testament. Okay. So you want to be mindful of that. And again, words are powerful. They do mean something. And today, you know, I wanted to do the video today because there's a lot of shit going on. Like, what up, Hak? Hey, how you doing? Shalom, Hak. Barakatah. Yahweh Shai. Yahweh. It's not showing the likes. Man, who cares? YouTube's been fucking with this channel. I don't even care no more, bro. Whoever gets a chance to listen to what I share, bro, I think that's what's important. Honestly, because like YouTube's doing some crazy shit with my shit. Dude, I'm telling you, bro, they ended a session and like I was still on, yet I wasn't aware that it had ended. Anyhow, I thought today would be a good day to pick, or at least do this, because, you know, again, I got nothing else to do right now, you know. My whole family's hanging out, like not my family, like my brothers, sisters, whatever. Like, you know, they're doing their whole 4th of July shit. We're just here at the house, man. You know, we were watching a game. Now we were watching a movie, so I figured I'll jump on real quick. But the reality is that they are celebrating, 250 years. 250 years. What up, Joe Ray? Oh, I forgot to call you back, bro. My bad, man. Apologize. So, what happens at 250 years?
Sir John Glubb analysed the life cycle of empires. He found remarkable similarities between them all. An empire lasts about 250 years, or 10 generations, from the early pioneers to the final conspicuous consumers who become a burden on the state. 6 ages define the lifespan of an empire. The age of pioneers, the age of conquests, the age of commerce, the age of affluence, the age of intellect, ending with bread and circuses in the age of decadence. There are common
with bread and circuses. So let's reflect on this real quick. So the age of pioneers was what? 1492, right?
Pioneers. The age of
conquest was when they got here, 150 years of all that fucking destruction that they did to our people, right? It ain't just the white man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. También pinches negros were with them, bro. So you motherfuckers ain't cutting on this shit. And I seen a lot of you guys with your little, USA shirts. So, like, family, we have to understand that they're celebrating these things on our land. 250 years of lies. So the first one was what? Pioneering, right? Second one was conquest. What is the third one?
The age of commerce.
The age of commerce, 1850, 1870, 1890, you know what I mean? When trades happens, you start seeing a lot of shit going on in China. Matter of fact, a lot of Europeans and American countries or North American countries were feeding Chinese people coke, like cocaine and shit, so they could take away their gold. Bro, I'm telling you, man, just like they're arguing about us supposedly infecting them with, drug abuse. No. The white man, right, with the help of the Moreno with him, you know what I mean? They went and infested Chinese people full of drugs because they were pretty much at that time, and, they had a lot of silver and gold stacked up. Sad shit, man. But anyways, let's continue. Oh, what? Hold on a second. Okay, so we're there.
Pioneers. The age of conquest.
Okay, here we go.
The age of commerce.
There now. We know that, 1800, 1850, 1860, okay.
The age of affluence.
The age of affluence, you know what I'm saying? The roaring 20s, 1940, 1950, 1960. They're like, make America great again. We want America great again. Like in the 1950s, where a man could go to work and a woman could stay at home. And we could afford a house, a car, and a bunch of shit.
But you brown people were broke as hell. That was the age of affluence. And then in 1970, shit started kicking the fan, right?
The age of intellect.
And that's when, oh my God, we're going to go to the moon. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. We're going to do that, because they understand how society functions. They know that once they get to the stage of affluence, then the next stage is all so-called intellect, right? But it's mostly destruction, because it leads to the major distraction, which is what? UFC fights at the White House. Really? Really?
Ending with bread and circuses.
Ending with bread and circuses. Let's continue.
There are common features to every age of decadence. An undisciplined, overextended military. The conspicuous display of wealth. A massive disparity between rich and poor. A desire to live off a bloated state. And an obsession with sex. But perhaps the most notorious trait of all is the debasement of the currency. The United States and Great Britain both began on a gold or silver standard, long since abandoned. Rome was no different.
So that's what they're celebrating today, right? That's what they're celebrating today. And let me see. Maybe I'll get this one first, because I'm jumping back and forth on videos, right? I'll probably be with you guys around maybe an hour or two. I don't know yet. I'm just kind of going by the fly. I'm just showing you guys videos that I've never shared with you before. If I did, it might have been like one time. I think I might have, maybe not. Hold on. This is it. Let's see, how long is this one? Let me see what the memory on this is. Oh, this one's short. Let's go. Hold on. Is this the one I want to share? Nah, that's about 30 minutes, I believe. Hold on, let me see this. All right, give me a second.
Why is it only the Latin Americans? You know what I mean? Why is it not the Australians?
Now let me play this. Let me play this, man. You know, this is a very good example of why they. Matter of fact, let me do this one first, and then I'll come back to this one, because this is an actually good one.
If Trump were to run again and win, obviously you'd be happy. Would you accept that result?
Of course.
If he were to run again and lose, would you accept that result?
Yeah, I mean, we have to accept everything that happened, but not,
you didn't.
But for sure, I'm telling you, I mean, the numbers, the registry.
The Flintstone defer.
Flintstone defer.
Voters. You know, the 80% of people voted for Trump.
80%.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I hadn't heard that number anyway.
Like 80 million people voted for Trump.
80 million, that's how you...
By the numbers, Biden is not the one that should be in the White House right now.
I don't think he lost. I am one of the people that believe he did win. There was a lot of things going on that were kind of fishy to me on the last election.
Could you be specific a little bit about that? What affected your opinion on that?
Well, I saw a lot of things on social media. People harvesting ballots, voting multiple times. A list of rosters of people that were deceased still on the roster voting. A lot of stuff came out on that was not on the media, but was circulating out of the 2,000 Mules that show. I 100% believe what.
And you want to know? Oh, see, I didn't have it on mute. You want to know something, fam? Like, all of that shit is a lie, man. You know, I'm not one to follow politics hardcore. I listen to it, but then when they say stuff like that, I do a little research. How come these people aren't in jail if they were illegally voting? You know, like, 2,000 illegal votes. Okay, how come 2,000 people aren't in jail? See, this is what happens when you start believing some stupid-ass Christmas Christian fucking doctrine and shit. that was invented by Hamites. This is the problem with you people, man. You guys are so corroded in your spirit, corrupted in your mind. You don't even know exactly what to believe. You'll believe whatever they say. It's Christian. Oh, it must be true. Y'all are stupid. Please, come on, man.
What was said on it?
My president, the one who won.
I was born in Cuba, and I'm against communism. I'm a legal citizen of the United States since I'm 6 years old, and I love Trump.
And what is it about Donald Trump that you love so much?
I want honesty. I want a man that's going to not give me the politician talk, and he's going to change the country like he did for the first 4 years.
And if he runs to either challenge President Biden or another Democrat in 2024, would he have your support?
Listen, he's got my support now, today. I voted DeSantis, I voted Marco Rubio, I will vote Trump again, and I am a firm believer that he'll either run with maybe DeSantis or Marco Rubio.
Well, Trump is a Florida resident, so he can't run with DeSantis.
Okay, so maybe Marco Rubio?
Well, he can't. They're both from Florida, yeah. So who else would you like to see? What about Mike Pence?
No.
How come?
I think he betrayed him. I really do. I was very involved in the campaign. Yeah.
In what way do you think he betrayed him?
I heard a lot of talk about it here in Miami, Florida. I was in a lot of...
But he won and then he lost. So if he runs...
He didn't lose.
He didn't lose?
No, not at all.
So tell me about that. I thought Joe Biden's president.
Well, he's in the White House, but he's not the real president. He's not the one doing...
He's in a warehouse? These motherfuckers can't even speak English well, brothers, and they already have hatred towards other so-called immigrants. Yet the real invaders, illegal aliens, or immigrants, are white people, first and foremost. I don't know why you guys have a lack of understanding when it comes to that. We didn't go to Europe. The imaginary European line came to us. Here. Oh. Do you understand that? That's exactly what happened. Happy 4th of July. Yeah, for real, bro. The USA Republic Foundation lies on the top of the Puritan soil. Impala. Oh, what up, bro? Good to have you here. What up, G? Finally call you. Yeah, I'm only doing like 1 or 2 classes a week now. I did a lot earlier. Lately, I haven't. It's just been 1 a week, I think. I think a couple times, maybe twice a week. Once every 2 weeks, maybe. I'm trying to get some Christians. They're not going to come, bro. They're scared of this shit.
I mean, to me, my president is still Trump. Biden, no.
But he's the one who commands the military and makes the decisions and the foreign policy. So
there's a lot of people behind him that is doing the decision for him. That man is a sleepy one. He's not commanding at all.
Yo, isn't this so fucking funny, bro? Like, Trompetas is the sleepy one. He's not commanding shit. Israel's telling him what the fuck to do. The guy and his family's made $2.something billion since he's been taking office, bro. And what has happened to you, Cuban bees? You guys gotten deported. I don't even want to say laugh is on you. It's just, we need to realize, fam, that these so-called Cubans are not our people for the most part. They're Europeans, they're Africans, they're some other fucking foreign nation that happen to be in Cuba. Do you understand this? Like, just because they say they're Cuban bees don't mean they're actually from the actual indigenous bloodline of ours. We don't know that she may be, bro. We don't know that. She could be a fucking whatever the hell it is. I mean, I think at this point of our lives, I think specifically today, 2026, we should be able to discern spirits just like, no, yo, man, if you are this fucking stupid and wicked, I know for a fact. I want nothing to do with you.
You hear that? Like, how do you know that?
Yeah, like common sense and I don't know. I don't believe anything that's going on. There's a lot of things that are not saying behind cameras. They're not being told. They're not being truthful to the American people.
If Trump won in 2020, would you have accepted that?
Yes.
But Biden won and you don't accept?
It's not that I don't accept it. I don't believe that he won.
But you would believe it if Trump won?
Literally the fucking same thing, you dumb fucking Cuban bee. Oh my God, bro. oh my fucking Lord, are you serious? It's not that I don't accept it, I just don't believe it. It's the same fucking thing. I am so glad to be living today in 2026. We can finally see, like, your skin folk ain't your kinfolk, bro. Do you understand? And we're seeing through all the bullshit, 12 tribe chart lies, Christmas Christian doctrine, fake fucking Jesus, stupid ass Virgin Mary. Like, I don't know about you guys, man, but I'm ready to tackle the world, so to speak. You have to understand how fucking great that feels to know that you're not in the so-called matriz.
Yeah.
What about in 2020?
Look, you know, let's say Biden right now says he's going to do a rally. Do you think many people will come to his rally? I doubt it very much.
I don't.
He did it in the campaign. There was 3 people and 3 mosquitoes. That's it. Nobody went to see him.
I'm telling you, family. Remember that brother that had that Cuban person over on his channel? What's his name? Ricardito and shit. Like, I appreciate what he did in that sense, but like, bro, he's hating on our gente too much because he loves that chocolate. You know what I mean? He loves that booty chocolate. That's why. So like, that's where it was like, man, for a moment I thought you was cool. Anyways, let's get to the next video.
Why is it only the Latin Americans? You know what I mean? Why is it not the Australians? You know how many Australians I know that live here and actually take your jobs?
There are approximately 600,000 undocumented immigrants from Europe in the United States. How come we're not seeing them being rounded up? Is it because they're white and not brown or black?
And why are we only targeting Latino immigrants? Is Asian immigrants, black immigrants, white immigrants, European, dare I say, you know?
I wasn't.
He said, this is great, by the way. This is why you started seeing like other people getting rounded up, okay?
Rounded up. Is it because they're white?
Watch.
And not brown or black?
And why are we only targeting Latino immigrants? Is Asian immigrants, black immigrants, white immigrants?
See, he said there's Asian immigrants, black immigrants, white immigrants. So what do you think they started doing? They started arresting so-called Asian people like on TV. They started going after Asian people because they're black. Right? But initially it was just our gente. And nobody gave a fuck. Nobody. Not Negros, not Asians, not Arabs, not Hindu, none of you motherfuckers. Actually, white. I'll give you credit. White people did. As a matter of fact, white people were fucking supporting us more than anybody else. Sad shit. But then you got to wonder, is that really Edom? Or are we dealing with like, you know, maybe some other, maybe a Japhetic line that at least has some common sense, you know? You know what I'm saying? Because the most disgusting seed that we're dealing with right now is Canaan, Edom, and Amalek. And they're all the same. They all think they're chosen people of God. They all think they're superior. And they all think all of us are fucking full of shit. You haven't noticed? They all say, oh my God, our excellence is so fucking great. And then they all hate each other because they point the finger at each other for racism. It's fucking stupid, isn't it? White supremacy, black supremacy, Jewish supremacy. It's all the fucking same. Canaan, Edom, Amalek, bro.
Why is it only the Latin Americans? You know what I mean? Why is it not the Australians? You know how many Australians I know that live here and actually take your jobs?
There are approximately 600,000 undocumented immigrants from Europe in the United States. How come we're not seeing them being rounded up? Is it because they're white and not brown or black?
And why are we only targeting Latino immigrants? Is Asian immigrants, black immigrants, white immigrants, European, dare I say, you know?
I was an illegal immigrant in the United States of America, but because of the color of my skin and the color of my hair and who I am, I have never been questioned. I have never been questioned about whether I'm American. No one has ever said, do you speak English? Because they didn't assume that I couldn't because of being an immigrant. I am an immigrant in your country.
Brace yourself, you will never guess who runs a racist and white nationalist Twitter account. Okay, that was sarcasm because, of course, this is who would run that sort of Twitter account. Yeah, it's this guy. That guy is ICE Assistant Chief Counsel James Rodden. The Texas Observer is reporting that the Twitter account Glomar Responder, which is an overtly racist social media account, is run by ICE Assistant Chief Counsel James Rodden. For his job working with ICE, he is an attorney who represents ICE in immigration hearings where judges decide if people get to stay or not. How bad could this account really be? He has over 17,000 followers. Let's take a look. Well, we're off to quite a start. I'm not going to read it. You can read it. That's one. And another, migrants are all criminals.
So, you guys that are defending this stupid-ass Christmas Christian religion, that are hanging on to this Jesus, whether you think he has an afro or not, you're being kind of racist toward yourself. Even if Christianity came from Hamitic religion, you know, like Kemetic culture, like they're using this to remind you that they're superior than you. Because Christmas Christians believe that, regardless of whether the fuck you are atheist or this or that or black, brown, whatever. They're like saying, nah, well, you know, the only reason you have morale is because of us. Because, you know, us white folks created Christianity. And, you know, Jesus is dealing with us. So, you know, like you guys don't even see it, bro. This is why they hate you. And I don't say this to like, oh, hate them back. No, I'm sharing this with y'all so you can understand the destruction of their mind. Do you know what I mean? This isn't for you to hate them back. This is for you to see the destruction of their mind, their spirit. Everything about them is about to get destroyed. It's going to continue to decimate. It's going to continue to get bad for people like these. Do you understand why? I mean, if you believe in the scriptures, it literally tells you that he's going to take that spirit away of fear from us and implement that shit on them. He literally said it in Deuteronomy 28. If you follow my commandments, I won't apply these curses upon you. The curses start in the mind, right? So then if you do follow those commandments, by the way, those curses are technically spirits. So then those spirits got to go somewhere. Where the fuck you think they're going to go if they're not being welcomed into your soul or your body or your presence or your temple, so to speak? Do you understand how important these things are? This is not about you hating them. This is about you looking at their destruction and how small they're getting and how simple they are to fucking understand now. Because they used to give us what? Propaganda. Remember, words are powerful. Let's continue.
And ending strong. America is a white nation founded by whites. We are the historical and majority population, and it was founded for our benefit. Our country should favor us, says this man who's being paid by our government. Check out the Texas Observer article for more information.
My neighborhood to change. If my neighborhood is European, if my neighborhood they don't keep chickens in the backyard that crow at 3 in the morning.
What are you
they
talking
don't.
about? That's a complete stereotype. That's a complete stereotype.
Yes, and stereotypes are all true.
It's a racist stereotype. What you're saying.
Oh, racist! Give me a break.
You know what? Let me just say this real quick. He says that my people don't have a crow crowing at 3 in the morning. Actually, it's not 3 in the morning. It's usually like 4 or 5. Do you want to know why chickens crow? It's like the alarm, like the natural alarm of the world, of the earth. And the reason why they crow, it's because like they're letting everybody know, yo, listen, bro, I see the sun coming up. Time to go to work. You see, we appreciate that natural essence of life. Now, some people want to work that farm, right, and do the work. Some of us, you don't care. And if a chicken or a rooster is waking your ass up in the morning, I mean, fuck, man. I thought you guys were superior than everything else. Anyways, let's continue.
Is European. If my neighborhood they don't keep chickens in the backyard that crow at 3 in the morning.
What are you
they
talking
don't.
about? That's a complete stereotype. That's a complete stereotype.
Yes, and stereotypes are all true.
It's a racist stereotype. What you're saying.
Oh, racist! Give me.
Yeah, stereotypes are true. Okay, so white people typically are pedophiliacs. They typically do they do homosexual shit. Very homosexual in the closet. White people, let's say they're women, your daughters. They're very promiscuous. Sins at age 14, 15, 16. From what we know about white people is that you guys will sleep with each other and be friends and shit. And like your friend will sleep with her and she'll sleep with him and y'all are friends and shit. But one of you guys will end up marrying her. And then you'll live together like as if you guys are friends, even though they knew her. Some of us talk about our gente. We talk about what the fuck are y'all doing, bro? And then whenever there's like a very serial killer type of person, it's usually white people. When you guys go berserk, it's usually white people. I don't know, bro. I mean, that's stereotypical. You know what I'm saying? We know that typically white people don't wipe their ass. Like that's stereotypical. If we want to take your logic, because that's what you said.
European. My neighborhood, they don't keep chickens in the backyard that crow at 3 in the morning.
What are you
they
talking
don't.
about? That's a complete stereotype. That's a complete stereotype.
Yes, and stereotypes are all true.
It's a racist stereotype what you're saying.
Oh, racist. Give me a break.
No. What are you going to do with the thousands of Muslims?
We certainly
American citizens who are serving in the military.
I'm sure that we just couldn't possibly survive with all those Muslim Navy Rangers. Yes, I'm sure that's true.
That is not right.
No.
This is the epitome of stupidity. This is the epitome of stupidity. And this is why words are powerful. This is why words are powerful. Because a lot of you dumb-ass cracker barrels do not realize that there is history of Muslims here since 1492. There's absolutely history here. Okay? You guys ever get a chance to read this book called Jews and Muslims in British colonial America? You know what that means? That means the 13 states. What up, Sindog? What the hell are you doing? That means the 13 states, okay? So that means that in the 13 states, initially, there was a lot of Jews, Muslims, in British colonial America, which is why in 1776, if you guys actually do read the Constitution, like technically the amendments and all that shit, because I have the actual book. Matter of fact, where is it? Give me a second. Okay, all right. So, as you brothers know, obviously now, you that know me since 2022, and we chop it up sometime, every now and then on the phone. You guys know that I like to read, all right? So this isn't bullshit me like, oh my God, let me try to impress you. No, I never cared about this thing. But, you know what? It's just so fucking funny, bro. Okay, it literally says it in the First Amendment. So the Bill of Rights, okay, this is the amendment number 1, proposed in 1789, ratified, I believe, 1791. I can't really see because the lights are not that bright. And it says here, okay, mind you, see, this is why you don't, I don't know if you're stupid or if you're just ignorant. You decide. It says it here on your own amendment. Right? Congress shall make no law. Let me just read it to you. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just going to read it, but I'm going to read it slowly. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people peaceable to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievance. Meaning like, yo, if you're not happy with what the fucking government is doing, bro, you have the right to speak on that. And this government cannot force you to believe a religion. This country, so-called, right, was never based on some fucking Christian doctrine. The presidents of the United States of America were all fucking Masons. What are you talking about? The Constitution of Masonry. You guys ever heard of that shit? This is why I laugh at a lot of you stupid asses that I love America. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Do you even know what your forefathers were doing, thinking, believing? Like, did it ever occur to you? Like, did it ever even, like, oh, no, there's no way these guys... No, yeah. They were not atheists. They were Freemasons, okay? Which means that you have to believe in a God, but they don't care what religion you believe in. This is why that amendment, which is the Bill of Rights in the first one, has a lot to do with Jews and Muslims of British colonial America, because at that time, there was a lot of Jews and Muslims in British colonial America. Why the fuck do you think they had wars in the Atlantic with African countries? How do you think they had that relationship and connection, you fucking dumbasses? Do you guys really think that it's 250 years of your existence? You're out of your fucking mind. You stole half of the continent progressively, but until 1848 is when you actually became 50 fucking states. 1848. That makes you 178 fucking years, quote unquote, old. But you see, people like you glorify yourselves. You're so fucking stupid. You're so naive. You're so dumb. You don't even read your own fucking laws. I'm reading them for you. Hold on a second. They say, America was founded on the Christian fucking principles. Fuck you. Christian principles? Christians were raping, slaughtering, killing my family, my brothers and sisters. White and black folks as conquistadors were feeding our children to dogs. The fuck you mean? And they were Christian, by the way, carrying that cross, black or white Jesus, whichever one you picked. You're gonna sit here and tell me like you care about this? Come on, let me read it again. The Bill of Rights amendment says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. What does that mean? It's what it says. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. Now, there's three branches. Congress is the branch that creates legislation. Do you understand that? Executive executes legislation. Judicial makes it into law. So Congress writes the law. Judicial makes it into a lawful actual, like, let's say, amendment. And then the executive office, which is the president office, they execute that law. Do you understand that? So the executive office cannot just fucking say, oh, I'm sorry, we're going to be a Christian doctrine crash country. Now, fuck no, it don't work like that. Legislation has to do that, which means Congress has to write that shit. Now, how the fuck do I even know this? Man, bro, trust me and believe, family, I never knew hardly any of this until the last 10, 12 years. And not by choice. Our Creator woke me the fuck up. And you guys that know me know exactly what I'm talking about. Once again, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. This is the Constitution of the United States of America and other founding documents. I have a little book here. Why did I get it? I was free, by the way. That's why I got it. But you see, I like to remind people like that, yo, you guys weren't that fucking great, okay? And these lies that you guys want to say that supposedly like it was a Christmas Christian, country, it was not. It never was. The founding fathers were Freemasons. And most of them, if I'm not mistaken, again, I'm saying this from the background of studying this. They believe Jesus is Lucifer. Yep. That's why they put that shit in the First Amendment, the first Bill of Rights, the first right that you're able to exercise any religious belief that you have in your mind. Because they knew that Jesus was Lucifer, or technically is. I know that scares a lot of you Christmas Christians, but I'm here to tell you, bro, prove me wrong. Come on, bro, let me know. Let's continue with your racist rants of Christmas Christian stupid doctrine.
I'm talking
You
about
cannot make fun
Muslims.
of people who are saving our lives.
They want special holidays and special foods.
So if you don't like their religion, you don't have to join them. That's fine.
No,
but,
they are.
But,
wait,
but
I'm
also,
not,
but you can't discriminate against them simply because you.
Of course, anyone should have the right to discriminate against anyone he wishes. And the point is,
But not by the law, Mr. Taylor. You can't do that.
I think the law.
This is where Jorge Ramos or George Bush fucks up. Because if we go back to the Declaration of Independence, right? Remember, let's be mindful. These motherfuckers want to deal with us like that. But let's learn the bullshit. You see, there's nothing better than to beat somebody in their own game. And to win against your enemy, you got to study your enemy. It goes back to boxing. Like, I talked about that a lot with you guys. I don't say that hardly ever, but that's one thing that I enjoyed, man. I love boxing, bro. It was just a natural gift for me. Anyways, so one thing that you learn is like you study look, let's put it this way. You watch a lot of fighters, you watch a lot of fights. Like, that's one thing that I always believe is you have to see the visual game. You have to visually see the game, right? So it's like you watch a lot of boxing fights, you watch a lot of boxers, old school, every style. You start learning about every single style, right? So every single style has a pattern. Everybody has a pattern. Every style, every way you talk, the way you act, the way you do things, the way you react, everyone has a pattern. You understand this? So you study your enemy. This is why I'm emphasizing this shit right here. Because they tell you guys, I'm look at me, I'm fucking hardcore US American, USA, look at me, my fucking flag. You gotta be like, yo, listen, bro, you really are Americans? Yeah, okay. What's the First Amendment say exactly? What does it say? They won't even know what the fuck it says. Freedom of speech. That's technically not all it says. What else does it say? I don't know. You see what I mean? So you have to study your enemy to destroy him. This is why I've destroyed Canaan. Canaan got no spirit when it comes to my fucking realm. Canaan got no way to even coming close to my realm, bro. Let's go.
That's absolutely incorrect.
Do you feel that whites are superior? They're more intelligent than blacks?
I think on average, whites are more intelligent than blacks, and North Asians are more intelligent than whites.
How can you say that?
How can you think otherwise?
Mr. Taylor,
what evidence would you have to think that a pygmy is, on average, is just as intelligent as a Dane? Why would you think that? It's completely consistent with the assumption that black Africans are less intelligent on average than Asians or Caucasians.
That's absurd. That's repugnant and absurd.
Why would you even entertain the possibility that on average a pygmy is as intelligent as a Japanese?
The comparison that you are trying to make, it is simply impossible because of historical circumstances, because economic conditions, because of the moment.
We have to be willing to say to all those who are non-European.
Let's look up the word stupidity. What does the word stupid mean? What does the word stupid mean? Stupid means, let's look up the definition of stupid. Because I believe the definition of stupid is when you're lacking some shit. North America was never about Christianity, but cash. Oh yeah, all day. That's why their God is gold, oil, and drugs. So it says stupid, having or showing a great lack of common sense. Right? Let's go into this real quick. Stupid means giving to an unintelligent decision. But what makes you unintelligent with your decisions or acts? You see, that's what I mean. You're stupid based on your unintelligent decision and act. Acting in an unintelligent or careless manner. Do you understand what stupid means? Dual it in feeling or sensation. Do you understand the word of stupid? Lacking intelligence or reason, brutish. Dualed in feeling or sensation. Given to unintelligent decision or act, acting in an unintelligent or careless manner. This is an unintelligent or careless manner. Do you want to know why? Because he's like, well, we're smart people. Asians are smarter than us, but we're smarter than black folks. Like, what the fuck? Bro, why would you even say, why don't you just, we're smarter than Asians? Because facts tell, stories sell. Because he understands that Asians are creating a lot of shit. But the reason why he says that they feel they're smarter than people of color or dark or black people is because
guess what? Supposedly inventions have been created in their countries. I will say this for a fact that I believe a lot of people are just smart as hell, you know, in general. Doesn't matter what nationality you are. But sometimes we get limitations in the ability or opportunity to actually being able to exercise that kind of knowledge. Or that taste that eventually develops as you get older. Because you may be good at something when you're 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, but when you're 9, 10, 11, or 12, 13, your mind starts changing. And you may want to take an avenue of something that really, really interests you, right? Well, when you're 25, but if you don't have that opportunity, guess what? You can't go that avenue. This is where you start seeing carelessness, which means stupidity. This isn't racism. This is stupidity, family. This is why I'm trying to show you. Don't let this bother you. Not at all. You see, what we're doing is we're looking at this disease through a microscope. And you are the scientist. And they are the disease. So we're analyzing them as a disease. There's no longer superiority in that concept. We are understanding that these people have lost their fucking mind. And I'm sorry if I offended some of you guys that love to leave this channel, show up and leave. Look, listen, bro, I'm not here to fucking make it nice. You're okay hearing all this shit every single day. Every single one of you motherfuckers, bro, you guys hear the news. You guys hear Donald Trump saying, immigrants, fuck you, deport them, illegals, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Fuck all them. Get them out of here. I'm going to pass laws. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to put you in internment camps. I'm going to fucking... And guess what? All of you will tune into that shit. But yet, as soon as we flip it over and start calling out those people that have been doing that, then it bothers you. So then now we need to wonder, where's your sense of mind? You see, to me, I share this because I want you guys to not let this affect you. Why do you think, like, for example, my daughter, she calls me a beaner. I call her a beaner. You know why I did that? So then if she ever hears that fucking attitude towards her, she'll be like, hey, you think you're going to hurt my feelings? Like, for real? Like, fuck you, beaner. Okay. My dad told me that. I didn't say F you, but you get what I mean? Desensitize you from the obvious stupidity. They're not superior. They didn't come alone. The black man helped them throughout their whole fucking way. You know what I mean? The white guy don't want to admit that the black man helped him, and the black man don't want to admit that they helped the white man because they both are fucked.
Discriminate against anyone he wishes. And the point is...
But not by the law, Mr. Taylor. You can't do that.
I think the law is absolutely incorrect.
Do you feel that whites are superior? They're more intelligent than blacks?
I think, on average, whites are more intelligent than blacks, and North Asians are more intelligent than whites.
How can you say that?
How can you think otherwise?
Mr. Taylor,
why evidence would you have to think that a pygmy is, on average, is just as intelligent as a Dane? Why would you think that? It's completely consistent with the assumption that black Africans are less intelligent on average than Asians or Caucasians.
That's absurd. That's repugnant and absurd.
Why would you even entertain the possibility that, on average, a pygmy is as intelligent as a Japanese?
The comparison that you are trying to make, it is simply impossible because of historical circumstances, because economic conditions, because of the moment.
We have to be willing to say to all those who are non-European, we wish you well, but this territory is for us. And sorry, we have the right to be us and only...
Wait, what the fuck? Did this stupid, dirty cracker barrel that don't know how to wipe his ass actually say that shit? He said, this is your... Wait, hold on a second. What the fuck did I just hear?
As intelligent as a Japanese.
The comparison that you are trying to make, it is simply impossible because of historical circumstances, because economic conditions, because of the moment.
We have to be willing to say to all those who are non-European, we wish you well, but this territory is for us.
All right, so remember I told y'all, like, where's Europe at? Did we go to Europe? Did we get invited over there? Are we there right now? I mean, am I losing my mind? What the... I need you two guys, I need you family to realize that when the predator has finally reached its end, they will do anything to stay alive. But it is inevitable that they will be destroyed. they will die. This is the biggest fear that these Cracker Barrel people, pale skin, hate. The fact that we are not going to be outlived. We will still be here. We will still be here and we will still live here. My father's father's father was here in 1492. And his father was here after 1492. And his father was here and his father was here and his father was here. And all the way through 1500, all the way through 1600, and all the way to 1700, 1800, 1900, 2000. Like, that's why I'm here. Because my family, my bloodline will never fucking die out. No matter what you guys fucking do. That is the fear of these people. Regardless of all the bullshit stories or jokes that we make, the fact is that they are diminishing. And you know what's so funny? They are the ones that brought the whole eugenics concept. Eugenics falls under Darwinism. Darwinism talks about like survival of the fittest, that supposedly the strongest gene pool survives. So if white people are not being born again or having babies, which is the strongest gene pool? Fuckface. Yep, America is a corporation in business. War is America's business. Yeah, that's true. Let's continue.
And sorry, we have the right to be us, and only we can.
Going on for 400 years brings us to another revelation, namely that the third world is not poor. You don't go to poor countries to make money. There are very few poor countries in this world. Most countries are rich. The Philippines are rich. Brazil is rich. Mexico is rich. Chile is rich. Only the people are poor. But there's billions to be made there, to be carved out and to be taken. There's been billions for 400 years. The capitalist European and North American powers have carved out and taken the timber, the flax, the hemp, the cocoa, the rum, the tin, the copper, the iron, the rubber, the bauxite, the slaves, and the cheap labor. They have taken out of these countries. These countries are not underdeveloped, they're overexploited.
Trump es elegido porque es necesario para el momento que vive Estados Unidos. Estados Unidos no necesita un hipócrita, necesita un cínico que rompa cualquier acuerdo internacional, un cínico que incluso pueda amenazar con salir de Naciones Unidas. Estados Unidos y sus súbditos británicos ya están en esta sintonía absoluta, ¿no? Es la ley del más fuerte y vamos a hacer lo que sea necesario para mantener nuestra hegemonía. ¿Quién es Elon Musk? Que es el más vomitivo de todos. Elon Musk es un personaje, un sudafricano, cuyo padre hizo riqueza con minería de piedras preciosas de sangre. Creo que la guerra arancelaria es una posibilidad, sin duda alguna, pero Estados Unidos de hecho perdería más que México. Estados Unidos necesita del narcotráfico, al igual que necesita de hidrocarburos, para mantener su sociedad activa, o inactiva, mejor creo que sea el adjetivo correcto. ¿A qué me refiero con inactiva? Apaciguada. Pero la gente no puede creer que los grandes capos de las drogas estén en Sinaloa, en las profundidades de la sierra sinaloense. Por supuesto, son los prestanombres de estos sujetos, pero esto se controla desde el norte. Esto se controla desde Washington, se controla desde Nueva York, desde la City en Londres, etc. O sea, el narcotráfico sigue siendo controlado por los angloparlantes, no solamente en América Latina, sino en todo contexto global.
See how, Raza, y'all need to start waking the fuck up, bro. These narcos are not that powerful. If you guys decide to take over your country, your streets, you can do it. You don't need these people to come over there. Matter of fact, when you invite these people to come over there, they're just going to add more to it because they're in control of it. So the only way that you get rid of these fucking carteles, these stupid ass weak motherfuckers, because at the end of the day, it's not just the U.S., that DAI or FBI or whatever the fuck 3-letter words are. It's also Mossad, bro. They're like, pfft. That's why whenever they say, hey, cartel brother, hey, you leader, guess what, leader? We're going to get rid of you. It's because of the white man. Because the white man said it. You guys ain't nobody, bro. You're killing your own gente. You're destroying your own people because you fear the fucking gringo. Take your fucking cities back, fam. Take them back. But one of the ways you do them is by letting go of that stupid-ass Virgin Mary, bro. Y'all need to stop worshiping the Virgin Mary. You need to stop worshiping that fucking Jesus. That is what's destroying our people. When you start realizing how that fucking thing affects our gente, you start realizing how imperative it is to let go of it. Either you do it on your own or you're going to be forced to do it, and not by a human. If you believe in the scriptures, it's warning you.
veces sigue lavando dinero para el narcotráfico. En este momento, en suelo estadounidense y en el occidente de Europa, están generando nuevas drogas cada vez más brutales para la población. ¿Por qué? Porque la población pide más, el adicto pide más cosas. Ya el fentanilo no es necesario. Ahora tienen que venir nuevas drogas sintéticas de laboratorio. ¿Y de dónde surge esa tecnología para producir ese tipo de drogas? Pues obviamente de los laboratorios estadounidenses, ¿no? Lo que está pasando en Argentina es lo que hubiera pasado si hubiera continuado los grupos del PRI y del PAN en México, ¿no? Hubiéramos llegado a ese grado. Tenemos un PAN y PRI que están en su fase moribunda, el PRD ya sucumbió, o sea, no hay oposición.
Why does the U.S. have to have the rest of the other lands in the same continent at its knees? So you could have the 99-cent stores, the cheap gas, the cheap meats, the cheap eggs, you know, the cheap TVs, the cheap traveling tickets when you get on an airplane. The only way the United States of America, which was structured by the Freemasons and their big poppies, the fucking, you know, the forefathers and shit, right? Here, let me show you guys real quick. Because I already have choices on the videos I want to see, but you guys don't even realize it, dude. Por eso digo, güey, pinches gringos, they're just a bunch of dumbasses, collateral damage babies.
Legend of the Craft, Legend of the Temple.
I mean, on the Masonic and the Order of the Eastern Star, the Baphomet there.
Photo of George Washington's sash worn in the Revolutionary War at the time he resigned his commission in 1783. Oh boy. The building of Solomon's Temple. Oh look, this is George Washington's Masonic apron. Oh, look at that, George Washington. Okay. Oop, Thomas Jefferson. James Madison, check it out. James Monroe. Andrew Jackson.
Here you have Masonic presidents of our country. Masonic presidents. I'll zoom in here so you can read a little bit better. George Washington, Mason. Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, Andrew Jackson, James Knox Polk, James Buchanan, Andrew Johnson, James Garfield, William McKinley, Theodore Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Warren Gamaliel Harding, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Harry S. Truman, Gerald Ford, the fatherhood of God, the brotherhood of man. There you have George Washington with a nice all-seeing eye radiating down over the White House. Nice imagery there. The white apron there is made of lamb's wool, and it symbolizes the veil that veils the Holy of Holies from the God of Masonry, which is right directly behind the veil. Excuse me there, I have to point there. That's the God of Masonry. You see the square, you see the compass, you know, this thing here, right there, the G in the middle, does not stand for God. It does not stand for geometry. It stands for generativity.
It stands for gnosis, the knowing.
It is a sex.
It stands for knowing. Let's go back to that part that we left off.
Why is it only the
En suelo estadounidense y en las profundidades de la Sierra Sinaloa. Elon Musk es un personaje, un sudafricano, cuyo padre hizo riqueza con minería de piedras preciosas de sangre. Creo que la guerra arancelaria es una posibilidad, sin duda alguna, pero Estados Unidos de hecho perdería más que México. Estados Unidos necesita del narcotráfico, al igual que necesita de hidrocarburos, para mantener su sociedad activa o inactiva, mejor creo que sería el adjetivo correcto. ¿A qué me refiero con inactiva? Apaciguada. Pero la gente no puede creer que los grandes capos de las drogas están en Sinaloa, en las profundidades de la Sierra Sinaloense. por supuesto, son los prestanombres de estos sujetos, pero esto se controla desde el norte. Esto se controla desde Washington, se controla desde Nueva York, desde la City en Londres, etc. O sea, el narcotráfico sigue siendo controlado por los angloparlantes, no solamente en América Latina, sino en todo contexto global. HSBC sigue lavando dinero para el narcotráfico. En este momento, en suelo estadounidense y en el occidente de Europa, están generando nuevas drogas cada vez más brutales para la población. ¿Por qué? Porque la población pide más, el adicto pide más cosas. Ya el fentanilo no es necesario. Ahora tienen que venir nuevas drogas sintéticas de laboratorio. ¿Y de dónde surge esa tecnología para producir ese tipo de drogas? Pues obviamente de los laboratorios estadounidenses, ¿no? Lo que está pasando en Argentina es lo que hubiera pasado si hubiera continuado los grupos del PRI y del PAN en México, ¿no? Hubiéramos llegado a ese grado. Tenemos un PAN y PRI que están en su fase moribunda, el PRD ya sucumbió, o sea, no hay oposición. O sea, incluso los grandes medios ya están resignando, no tienen absolutamente nada que hacer, porque incluso también han perdido popularidad. O sea, toda la gente, las audiencias se han trasladado a los medios alternativos o tradicionales, lo que también es un riesgo.
Que querían que trabajáramos a punta de ciudadanos por 25 centavos, amaneciendo hasta Metesol. Andaban los alcapaces en las calles, que no hubiera ninguno en su casa sentado ni acostado, menos, y lo veían, vamos para afuera, ni permiso pedían los alcapaces. A punta de chicotazo, vamos a cargarse la calle, a cortar calle, por 25 centavitos, no pesos, como ahora.
This man doesn't look that old, right, fam? I mean, not that old, like meaning like as in 1850 old. Right? Right? Supposedly the curses would be prolonged to certain people of the Bible. But I don't see no one else really working those fields but our gente. Verse 46, I believe it says, and they shall be upon thee, Deuteronomy 28:46, sorry, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder upon thy seed forever, which would be what? The curses. Like, these things would show upon you. What kind of things? Verse 43, the stranger that is within you shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. It'll be upon you forever. He's still working the fields, the farms. They're getting chicateados, güey. Que párense, cabrones. Tu madre, güey. Párense, hijo de tu pinche madre, güey. A jalar, cabrón. Like that's how they would talk to our gente. With a fucking strong, loud voice. Chingue su madre, güey. Párense, los pinches indios, cabrones. Do you understand that?
Ni acostado menos, y lo veían, vamos para afuera, ni permiso pedían los alcapaces.
Sacapataces are task masters, and you guys can find that in Exodus. You see, this is why it's interesting, man, that some people claim to be certain people, but yet this stuff doesn't continue upon them. It says here, Exodus 1:10, come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them out of our land. Right? And it says, therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Phetoms and Ramesses. Obviously, it has to do with farming and agriculture and construction. But check this out.
Ni acostado menos, y lo veían, vamos para afuera, ni permiso pedían los alcapaces. A punta de chicotazo, vamos a cargarse la calle, a cortar calle, por 25 centavitos, no pesos, como ahora. ¿Y quién iba a aguantar eso?
Guys that are very younger. In Mexico, there was centavos before peso. Like,
You had the peso and then you had the centavo. So the peso right now is the lowest value. They were getting the cents of a peso. Wrap your mind around that shit. And by the way, this isn't a long time ago. This was still going on. ¿Cómo les dice, güey? Sacapataces, I believe. Taskmasters. Continue.
Dígame quién va a aguantar eso. Luego resultó esa la revolución.
Why do they hate us so much? It's because we are America's guilty conscience. We are the faces of the lands they stole. We are the permanent reminder of the genocide they couldn't finish.
Have you ever stopped to think about how the food on your plate got there? Many might say, I bought it, I paid for it, I worked for it. And while that's true, have you ever considered the labor behind that meal? Behind every bite you take, there's a single mother working long, exhausting hours to provide for her children. There's a father breaking his back every day, earning barely enough to survive. There are teenagers who should be in school chasing their dreams, but instead they are in the fields because their families have no other choice. These are the unseen hands that make sure America is fed. Every meal tells a story of resilience, of sacrifice, of people who give everything they have so that this country could keep moving forward. Yet, their struggles are often overlooked. People see the food, but not the faces, the hard work, but not the hardship. This country runs on immigrants.
As a Mexican American, there's a part of me that belongs to a place I have never fully lived in. A place that calls to me, woven into who I am. Mexico. It's not just a country. It's a heartbeat, a rhythm deep in my chest. It's the earthly smell that rises from a fresh rain, the laughter that feels like it's been passed down through generations. But here, in the place I call home, I still feel that pull, like I'm never fully in one place, ni de aquí, ni de allá. I speak two languages, but in both, I'm still searching for words that make me feel home. In Mexico, I see faces that remind me of family, hear voices that feel close, yet I still feel like I'm just passing through. And here, in the life I have built, it's no easier. I walk these streets, but the rhythm, it's different. Here, I'm a little too Mexican. There, a little too American. In Mexico, there's warmth, family, tradition, and belonging. But there's also this uncertainty. And in the US, there's stability, opportunity, the life I have worked so hard to build. Yet, no matter what, there's an ache for the roots I can't fully return to. It's a balance, a dance between two places that don't quite fit. But somehow, I carry them both. I carry Mexico in my heart and the life I have built in my hands. I am Mexico. I am America. I am here and I am there. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly where I'm meant to be.
Sigo cruzando ríos, andando selvas, amando el sol. Cada día sigo sacando espinas en lo profundo del corazón. En la noche sigo encendiendo sueños para limpiar con el humo sagrado cada recuerdo. Cuando escriba tu nombre en la arena blanca con fondo azul, cuando mire cielo en la forma cruel de una nube gris, aparezcas tú. Una tarde subo a una alta loma, mira el pasado, sabrás que no te he olvidado. Yo te llevo dentro hasta la raíz, y por más que crezca, vas a estar aquí. Aunque yo me oculte tras la montaña y encuentre un campo lleno de caña, no habrá manera, mi
señores y señoras, y es mexicano así como los que están allá afuera. Y por favor, tengan un poco de sentimiento. Tengan un poco de orgullo de ser mexicanos.
Damn, that lady couldn't have said it better at the end. You can have some pride, bro. Have some pride, man. I'm gonna not really switch it up a bit, but continue with the videos. Like, I've shared these things with y'all before. But you know, like, that's why that video initially was like, words are powerful. I remember when a lot of us used to be lost and shit, but we were behind on the information. You know what I'm saying? Yep, that's right. And they weren't just one color, by the way, family. Trust and believe they weren't just one color. Let me show you guys. You know, a lot of us didn't know this, man. We came into this understanding. We're like, oh my God, shit. But then there was an agenda behind them. Listen, remember, propaganda, right? Let me look for that video. I did a video on that. Is it this one? Let me see if it's this one.
Day and putting him in another class. What we're talking about here is very clear. If you look at Latin America today, in every society in Latin America is essentially a conglomeration of European settler states. The conquistadores went in there and did the same thing that the English did here and everything, right? When we look at the compositions of these societies, we see that at the top are light-skinned descendants of conquistadores, and at the bottom are native people and black descendants of Africans. Whites.
And this is why it's propaganda. We know that these people came with the white man. You guys had slaves too. But this is why I call this video Black Nobility Propaganda. That's what they want you and I to believe. No. Do not. Oh no. It's kind of like, I don't know, how do I say it? These two people commit murder. I show up because, like, I happen to notice. Then one of the two separates from that one and acts like he's part of my, you know, like what I saw, and says, oh man, yeah, I caught him doing this. You know what I mean? It's like that. It's like they try to step away from their dirtiness. You know what I mean? You can't do that.
Skin privilege is a European ideal and concept that was exported with their economic system, their religious philosophy, and it was exported and imposed on people of color. So when we talk about Latinos, let's understand what we're saying here. We're talking about Latinos who, for the most part, have African blood in them, and they have internalized racism just like everybody else. When we look at Asian Americans, many of the Asians that came here initially came to work the railroads. They were treated like dogs. They were treated like dirt. But when we see a lot of Asians that come to the United States today, one of the first words they learn in their lexicon, one of the first things that they learn is the United States' major contradiction around the issue of race is white-skinned male privilege. And if we don't attack that, if we don't analyze that, if we don't begin to deal with that, then we got a problem. And I totally disagree with the mayor of Washington, because I do not have a state.
He doesn't agree with what he's all about.
No, we don't agree with any religion.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, first of all, that's a King James Bible. That's a European Bible.
It's a King James Bible.
It's a European
King James
Bible.
was a black man. You didn't know that, did you? We ruled Europe all the way up to the 1700s.
Okay, well,
Cromwell was the first.
Okay.
Cromwell was the first so-called white man that sat on the throne. We ruled Europe. We sat
so
on
then
the
what
throne
happened to
in
them?
England.
They must have got their butts kicked and knocked out of there.
Yeah, because you know what? Because we sinned against the Most High. We didn't follow His law. That's why.
You know, let me just pause it real quick. All right, so if you ruled Europe, what religion were you guys teaching? I want to know, if you were really ruling Europe, were you teaching Hebrew?
That's gonna hurt!
I do not think so. Because the pictures you guys used to show supposedly this history, right?
most, if not all, the pictures have a fucking cross. They have a cross and a Jesus. So you were ruling Europe, and then you stopped because God got mad at you for not teaching his commandments. But yet, in all the pictures you guys used to claim you ruled Europe, you were all Christmas Christians. Oh my God, dude.
That's right.
Yeah, I know, huh?
I have concepts of a plan.
That's kind of what it is, bro. I think that's what it is, man.
Oh, you just brought down. It wasn't because of your strength, because your nation is weak. You're a weak, mindless people.
Okay, now.
You didn't bring us down. God brought us down.
I'm coming to my question.
Many African Americans, you are the Native Americans. You're not even African Americans, you're Native Americans. You're the ones that they brought blankets with, was it smallpox or whatever diseases, and wiped out entire communities because they said they came in peace, but they actually came in war. And they are still warring us right until this day. So there are those beloveds of you who really don't feel any connection to Mama Africa. And this is just...
part. You said that you guys are from here. Many of you are from here. But then you don't have the connection to Africa? So if you supposedly were here before we were, then technically, if you embrace that traveling, then that means you guys are Africans. Ever think about that? They want to bring Diodorus Siculus and say that supposedly black folks from Africa came over here and randomly saw some island and shit. Oh my God, whatever. They call it Atlantis, which is the stupidest fucking topic I've ever heard, bro. It's so easy to debunk. I'm surprised nobody has actually had a chance to actually debate that shit. Because it's so easy to fucking debunk. Okay? So it's like, so we get an idea of, fuck man, I forgot my topic. I had my thought process going on. Matter of fact, you know what? Let the video play. Let me try to get my thought process back.
Native Americans. You're not even African Americans, you're Native Americans. You're the ones that they brought blankets with, was it smallpox or whatever diseases, and wiped out entire communities because they said they came in peace, but they actually came in war. And they are still warring us right until this day. So there are those beloveds of you who really don't feel any connection to Mama Africa. And this is just, you know, a confirmation, a reassurance that America belongs to you. Spiritual babies on milk, beloveds. I've said too much without saying enough, beloveds. But may those who have ears hear. The Freemasons, there's also the female side, which a lot of people don't talk about, the Eastern Star, which I won't even get too deep into now.
Yeah. I know it hurts people's feelings when I show these things. It tends to happen. Yeah, I know, dude. I know. I get it. Hold on, let me look for the video. Hold on. There it goes.
22. The Buffalo Soldiers. The image is stark. A line of black men in crisp military uniforms, rifles slung across their shoulders, eyes fixed straight ahead. They were the Buffalo Soldiers, former slaves and sons of slaves who became some of the toughest fighters on the frontier. Stationed in the harshest posts, they battled bandits, guarded settlers, built roads, and stood as the backbone of Western expansion. Native warriors named them Buffalo Soldiers for their strength and their dark, thick hair, and the name stuck. Yet, when history was retold, their role was reduced to footnotes, their loyalty questioned, their sacrifices ignored. This photo captures pride and pain all at once, men who carried a nation on their backs while being denied equality in the very land they defended. They were cowboys in uniform, warriors in silence, and proof that black men ruled the Wild West in ways white America couldn't afford to admit.
Really? Really? Is that really what it is? This is I think important.
Because a lot of you guys always want to promote your history, and then you do it in secret. But you don't like it when we're calling your ass out on it. The Buffalo Soldiers destroyed our people.
American OG bringing you that hidden truth, because LeBron James and Jesse Jackson will not give it to you like this, you see. Mr. Spook Lee will never make movies about this, and I wonder why. So I'm here learning about the Buffalo Soldiers, Geronimo, and the Wounded Knee Massacre. And I must say, the more I learn about these Black Americans and their history, the more I understand why things are happening the way they are now in the USA. Just look at the type of things these people were doing to the Native Americans, all the while crying about, the Black Wall Street Massacre, the Rosewood Massacre, boo-hoo-hoo, But look at the nonsense they were doing to the Native Americans. They will not tell you that these Black Americans massacred over 200 innocent men, women, and children for absolutely no reason. And they are here proud afterwards. To make matters even worse, these Black Americans have the nerve to claim to be the Native Americans in year 2023. What these Black Americans did to the natives is equivalent to going up to a person that you see choking, and then you sneak up behind them and you proceed to strangle them. You see, that is pure evil right there. And there's no way you can get out of this. You cannot play the blame the white man card on this at all. You see? All I know is I will say this and I will end this vid, because if I keep talking, these Black Americans are going to report, because they cannot handle the funk. But I know that if it was us Ethiopians that these Black Americans did this to, and then have the nerve to try to claim your identity, a lot of these Black Americans, they live in homes.
Say it with me.
African Americans. Would you say that we are the original Native Americans, Professor? We need to know that. We have several books popping up on the scene. I totally disagree with that, but I want to hear what the professional has to say, the one that studied on genetics.
No, that is a misnomer, a falsehood, an outright lie. Okay, that's exactly what that is. We are not the original Native American. There is a history that Native Americans have, and actually it's disrespectful for African Americans to go out and say that they're Native American to the rich Native American cultures that have been here for thousands of years. For some reason, there are African Americans who are here who want to claim this connection with Native Americans. I don't know for what, and I also don't understand why a Black person would want to be anything other than African. Okay? That is the real deep sort of issue that has to be addressed by those individuals who continue to argue. I mean, they continue to argue this point. There is no evidence of this wholesale movement of people of West and Central African descent being here before the transatlantic slave trade. So, the African American community that's there today came from. We are descendants. I'm going to say this really, just clearly, okay? The bulk of African Americans are descendants of enslaved Africans from West and Central Africa.
That might have hurt. That might hurt. I mean, it's a fact, bro. Come on, man, stop it. And I remember this video too. I think I shared it with y'all like 2 years ago, maybe. I think. See, I don't remember, man. It's been so long. So like I said, fam, I'm just trying to share with you guys videos that I had done in the past that I think at one point or another I skipped. I have a lot more, but I figured this would be a good start. All right, let's try this one. I think this is it. That's that Egyptians one. That's that. Yeah. Well, I guess it's okay, but it was his name different. I gotta change it. Anyhow, I do want to share this with you guys, man. This is gonna be important. Okay. I need you guys to pay attention to this one right here, because it's heavy duty, and I did it 3 years ago.
With a curious observation on several other countries, written in 1714, second volume. It says here, this also a vulgar error that the Jews are all black. This is page 139. For this is only true of the Portuguese Jews, who marrying always among one another, beget children like themselves, and consequently, the swarthiness of their complexion is entailed upon their whole race, even in the northern regions. But the Jews who are originally of Germany, those, for example, I have seen at Prague, are not blacker than the rest of their countrymen. Though nobody can doubt that those of the Jewish nation are destitute of all authentic tradition, and that as being Jews, they have not any particular knowledge, neither of the laws or customs of their ancestors, or even of the Hebrew language. I have, however, been willing to take care of this to satisfy you, in asking several of their rabbis in Germany and Italy about what you had desired, with making them read some periods of Hebrew distinctly to observe how they pronounce it without long time here, page 141. In entering again into the particularities of your question, I will tell you that I have forgotten nothing, and it drove my curiosity further than yours, having not forgot the diverse doubtful things that are marked in the grammar, or which are the results of the different opinions of the grammaring. The answer I have then to you in a few words about this affair is this, that these Jews, black and white, have furnished me with nothing, absolutely nothing. Nothing that one can draw of any use. And indeed, what can they say to Christians, meaning white Christians, that the Christians do not know as well as they have? Have they any secret source or any immediate revelation? Who are these people who pretend to teach each other? On the contrary, they are a poor sort of creatures, so filled with false notions, so conceited of their monstrous ideas that I would never advise young people to have any commerce with them for the fear of receiving from them some ridiculous prejudice. This goes for you black West Africans and you dumb ass Khazarians. I pray to God that you get the destruction that you're wishing upon these other nations. The nerve of you to say that, 35 of us have been running by Edom and 35 by Ishmael, but you're neither one of them, you damn demon. You black and white mofos are going to get destruction. All praises to the Most High.
They claim they want to build a temple. Now, I want to discuss a little bit of sensitive history. And if I go to sensitive history, well, then I must quote sources that say it rather than that I say it. This is a fascinating book, and the web pages are there. You can check it out. Facts are facts. This is a book that was written by a Jewish man. And he confronted the thinking of many of the high-placed individuals of the world. This is interesting stuff. In this book, Benjamin H. Friedman, a Jewish man, writes about the Jews and reveals an interesting history. He states that the present Jews in Palestine are not the true descendants of the Judeans, but rather descendants of the Khazars. In the letter addressed to D. David Goldstein of Boston, Massachusetts, a convert to Catholicism, the author, Benjamin Friedman of New York City, dated October 1954, provides some fascinating insights. This is in the public domain. Let's study this for a while and see where we get. Benjamin H. Friedman claims that the word Jew was only introduced into the English language in the 18th century, and that Jesus referred to himself as a Judean and not as a Jew. Inscribed upon the cross when Jesus was crucified were the Latin words Iesus Nazarenus Rex Iodeorum, which means Jesus of Nazareth, ruler of the Judeans. Now this is fascinating. I went and checked it, and it is so. Yes, it happens to be so. Now the word Jew today has a religious as well as a political connotation. You think of a Jewish entity, a government, but you also think of their religion incorporated at the same time, whereas the term Judean is a geographic connotation.
Convert to Christianity, wherein they were God, they were Christ. Okay, the angels were white, and that the Jews who had converted, the white man who had converted to being a Jew, they also had to, they were on top of us. This white man that we had used from the Caucasus Mountains to help us in our military, they also turned against us. Never trust your enemies, brothers and sisters. We said, these are our allies. And the very same allies turned against us. So again,
we stop those of us who support, as most of us do, Israel in this body, for apologizing for our support for Israel. There's no
something, because people can't get away with that shit. What is this then? What the fuck is this? Excuse me. That's a negro with an eagle as a sign in his banner. Just like we've been sharing with you that they came and helped the white man. Now they want to act like they don't know the white man. Now they want to act like, I don't know no eagle. Wait, hold on. I ruled Europe though, but I don't know no eagle. What the fuck you mean, bro? So you ruled Europe, but you don't know no eagle? But what? When you actually pay attention to their stupidity, it really baffles you that it's really baffling that people would have failed for this shit. It's like, we ruled Europe, but we don't know no eagle. We ruled Europe, we lost control of it because we were not teaching the commandments. What were you teaching then? And then how did you get power in the first place? Where does it say that supposedly Jewish Negroes took over Spain in 711 AD and shit, or Common Era, and then all of a sudden started teaching Hebrew religion? There's nowhere in any books. So for them to have ruled Europe, that means that would have been them in 711 AD or 711 Common Era, which means they would, if they would have been teaching the commandments of God, because that would be the only way that power would be given to you. Now you're asking like, well, how what do you mean? Like, what do you mean by that? This is the scripture that they're going to use, possibly would use, but it makes perfect sense why you should not be even quoting it. It says in verse Judith 5:19. If you read the whole chapter, you'll know what I'm talking about. Let me get to the point. But now are they returned to their God and are come to the place where they were scattered and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. Now therefore, my Lord Governor, if there be any error against these people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin. Let us go up and shall overcome them. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, meaning if you're keeping the commandments, you understand exactly what's going on, then the Most High is with you. So, fuck faces, how in the world would that work? Okay, how does that work if you're teaching the actual religion of Christianity? I mean, did you guys read? Like, I showed you guys the class yesterday, the other book. What the fuck are we talking about here? Dude, it gets crazy when you start dissecting the actual truth about people. And then all of a sudden, they don't want to answer the questions to that. Acting as if they know nothing.
apology to be made. None. It is the best $3 billion investment we make. Were there not an Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel to protect her interest in the region. The United States would have to go out and invent an Israel. The second part is people should understand by now, this should be crystal clear, that Israel is the single greatest strength America has in the Middle East. I always say to my friends when they say those things to you, I say, imagine our circumstance in the world were there no Israel. How many battleships would there be? How many troops would be stationed? You know, I used to say early on when I was a kid, I'd say, when I was a young senator, I'd say, if I were a Jew, I'd be a Zionist. I am a Zionist. You don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist.
Progress occurs in the Middle East when everyone knows there's simply no space between the United States and Israel. There is no space
absolutely no different. And I mean, unless this is the one that continues, you know, supposedly there's some so-called democratic socialists coming on board to the mainstream, you know, society and shit, and they're going to let people know how they feel about government or how it should be ran. But when you're having this power over your head, I don't know how much power you may be able to get.
Between the United States and Israel when it comes to Israel's security. There is only one nation in the world that has unequivocally, without hesitation, and consistently confronted the efforts to delegitimize Israel. At every point in our administration, at every juncture, we've stood up on behalf of the legitimacy of the state of Israel.
The security of Israel and the United States is inextricably tied, and we will never, ever, ever abandon Israel out of our own self-interest. I also emphasize what I've said throughout this conflict. The United States fully supports Israel's right to defend itself against indiscriminate rocket attacks from Hamas and other Gaza-based terrorist groups that have taken the lives of innocent civilians in Israel.
Coming down, but this is now as clear as day, that world history is coming down to the two powers, the Western world against Yishmael. There's 70 nations. 70 nations are really 35 and 35, and 35 of them are controlled by what's called Edom, the Western world, what many consider America, and 35 are controlled by Yishmael, the Arab Muslim world. And this is our tradition, that the two main Ummah Sa'olam are Esav and Yishmael, Edom and Yishmael. These are the only two nations that will exist until Mashiach comes. Rome and Persia. Who's going to be the last man standing? Esav or Yishmael? By the way, my message to both of them is we wish both of them tremendous hatzlacha. They should wipe each other out. No, none of them should be standing. Both sides should mamish be matzliach as much as possible. We wish both sides tremendous, tremendous hatzlacha in their avodah of wiping out the other party. Rome will fall to Persia, which means Edom will fall to Yishmael. Rome will fall to Persia. In other words, America falls to Yishmael. And what the Navi is saying is that Edom, at the end of days, will be carried off by Persia. In other words, Persia, Yishmael will completely destroy the Western world. That is the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi. So then, according to him, we're not in the right country right now. Edom, the Edom, Esav, America, they're so rotten. They never accept the yoke of heaven. So what's God going to do to Edom? He's going to have to remove him from this world. You know what else he's going to have to do? V'shachad oisa lefanav. He's going to have to shecht him. And at the end of days, God is going to slaughter Edom. What's a kingdom? A kingdom is somebody who usurps the glory, majesty, and power of the Jewish people.
New to you, it's not new to us. So we have a lot of people we know involved in those things, right? We know of them, but they don't even know that it's tied to Freemasonry. A lot of them don't. But I guarantee you my grandmother was ignorant.
He petitioned the Massachusetts state legislature for funds to educate children of color. He opened his home as a school to provide an education to adults of color. The Deputy Grand Master, Brother Nero Prince, became Prince Hall's successor as Grand Master, followed by George Middleton, then Peter Lew, and then the well-known John T. Hilton, who recommended a Declaration of Independence from the English Grand Lodge in 1827 and the assumption of powers and prerogatives as an independent Grand Lodge.
It's natural sometimes when you speak to speak, you know, like this or whatever. You know, I see my dad do it all the time.
They genetically modified the beings that were our cousins before we became Homo sapiens, whatever we were. They genetically modified, probably making us a lot more dumbed down because that's where you get the junk DNA. We've been disconnected. Our brains were bigger. Our cousins' brains were much bigger than our brains right now, which means they were probably much smarter. The pineal glands were probably bigger as well.
Some books you don't believe. You have some Israelites that believe these people over here are the Israelites and these are not, and you can't tell me nothing. and you have some Israelites that believe that certain races are connected to the devil or Satan, and this is what they teach. So Satan's children incarnate, walking on this earth, are a group of people, and so there's different teachings and doctrines that every Israelite, I guess, assembly or camp has.
I said, okay, let's do it in person at our school in Atlanta. He responds back, he says, no, let's do it neutral ground. We'll get a building. We're going to charge people. And don't forget, if I win, this is how you also know when a nigga's scared too. A nigga be talking too much.
And so the same thing he did with TOTW, he didn't want to be asked certain questions by TOTW and the audience. So he made it very clear that he's not taking certain questions. And when it started getting heated, he had to leave. And he tried to say, well, you're going to say, well, the wicked flee when not pursue it. That's just a cop out. We know you don't want to ask no questions. You don't want to step up to the plate.
It is what it is, bro. You ain't even had a debate. Has he had a debate?
I've never seen any of his debates. I've never even heard of him being a debater.
All right. So if you want to do the debate, we can do it right here in the building that I'm sitting at in Atlanta, Georgia. If not, just here to deal with it. Go ahead, D.
Hey, and I got my ticket. I'll get my ticket right from Seattle to Atlanta. I'll be there live in the flesh.
For your super chats and super stickers, we appreciate you. We are a listener supported a platform, so thank you for all that you do to give. And like Brother Ron, I have a large family, so I appreciate all. Deacon Destruction Mode says Sakari standing with Ron. Just share the link. So just want to point that out, as well as Deacon Destruction Mode says Sakari standing with Ron. Just share the link. So just want to point that out, as well as
of the temple.
On the Masonic and the Order of the Eastern Star, the Baphomet there.
Photo of George Washington's sash worn in the Revolutionary War at the time he resigned his commission in 1783. Oh boy. The building of Solomon's Temple. Oh look, this is George Washington's Masonic apron. Oh, look at that. George Washington. Okay. Oop, Thomas Jefferson. James Madison. Check it out. James Monroe. Andrew Jackson.
Here you have Masonic presidents of our country. Masonic presidents. I'll zoom in here so you can read a little bit better. George Washington, Mason, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, Andrew Jackson, James Knox Polk, James Buchanan, Andrew Johnson, James Garfield, William McKinley, Theodore Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Warren Gamaliel Harding, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Harry S. Truman, Gerald Ford, the fatherhood of God, the brotherhood of man. There you have George Washington, with a nice all-seeing eye radiating down over the White House. Nice imagery there. The white apron there, made of lamb's wool, and it symbolizes the veil that veils the Holy of Holies from the God of Masonry, which is right directly behind the veil. Excuse me there, I have to point there. That's the God of Masonry. You see the square, you see the compass, this thing here, right there, the G in the middle, does not stand for God. It does not stand for geometry. It stands for generativity. It is a sex symbol. Okay?
He makes his first trip to Israel, where he meets with Golda Meir on the eve of the Arab-Israeli War.
I go all the way back to Golda Meir. Oh, God, I'm getting old.
And after that trip, Joe Biden makes defending and promoting Israel a central component of his foreign policy vision and positions.
Were there not an Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel to protect her interest in the region.
He makes clear that his central priority is building up Israel's military might and funneling money and political support to Israel. In 1982, Joe Biden and a number of other senators have a private meeting with Menachem Begin, who was at the time the Israeli prime minister, and the Israeli invasion of Lebanon was getting underway. And Joe Biden likes to tell this story, as it was reported in the New York Times, about how Biden confronted Begin over the issue of Israeli settlements.
New York Times called my exchange with Menachem Begin the bitterest exchange of a highly emotional confrontation.
But what Biden doesn't talk about from that meeting is what Begin says also happened, and that is that Joe Biden got up and gave this impassioned defense of Israel's actions in Lebanon, including the killing of women and children. And Biden said he would do the same thing if he was in Israel's position. Begin, who himself is a war criminal from his actions as head of a militia in the 1940s, said that Joe Biden was too extreme for him. Biden has this long track record of defending some of Israel's worst atrocities. In fact, in 2001, when the George W. Bush administration issued a very mild criticism of Israel for its so-called targeted assassinations, Biden rebuked George W. Bush, said these aren't assassinations, and actually said that the United States shouldn't be airing its differences with Israel in public. In 2006, Joe Biden is front and center as an enthusiastic backer of Israel's simultaneous wars in Lebanon and its massive bombing of Gaza. He says Israel's doing the right thing in both places. In fact, Biden starts to compare Israel's actions in Lebanon to the U.S. invasion and occupation of Afghanistan in the aftermath of 9/11.
We went in Afghanistan. Remember, we took out a wedding party by accident? Remember, we took out with these very sophisticated missiles we had? We accidentally killed some citizens. Have ever a war more justified than us going into Afghanistan? I can't think of any war since World War II more justified. Yet innocents got killed and us trying to protect America's interest.
Joe Biden was an early supporter of recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and also of moving the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, something that Donald Trump ultimately did as president. And the way that Biden has sort of carved out a critical corner for himself is on the issue of settlements.
I have opposed settlements for more than 3 decades.
While Joe Biden does have this consistent record of speaking out against the expansion of Israeli settlements, it has never been backed up by action. It's akin to a disagreement among very, very good friends. As vice president under Barack Obama, Joe Biden boasted about the closeness of his relationship with Benjamin Netanyahu.
The people of Israel consider the Biden family part of our family.
And in public, Joe Biden once again defended atrocities by Israel when it raided a humanitarian flotilla. That raid killed 9 people, and according to the UN, 6 of them were killed in what appeared to be an extra-legal summary execution.
You can argue whether Israel should have dropped people onto that ship or not, but the truth of the matter is, I think Israel has an absolute right to deal with its security interest.
And now Joe Biden is president. And when he entered office, his administration made clear that they did not intend to prioritize the Israel-Palestine situation. But now it's at their front door.
You are stealing my house. And if I don't steal it, someone else is going to steal it. No one.
The recent horrors unfolding in Jerusalem and Gaza were sparked by an ethnic cleansing operation against Palestinians living in East Jerusalem, precisely the type of expansion or annexation that Joe Biden has claimed to oppose. But the Biden administration has overwhelmingly ignored this ethnic cleansing and has suggested that it's simply a matter for the Israeli courts. And as has been the case for decades of U.S. policy, the Biden administration has portrayed Hamas firing rockets into Israel as the central, almost exclusive issue, while simultaneously doing everything possible to minimize or excuse Israeli attacks against Palestinians, including attacks that are killing women and children regularly. In a series of State Department briefings this week, the spokesperson Ned Price outlined the Biden administration's position, and unfortunately, it's not shocking.
Let me start by saying that the United States condemns in the strongest terms the barrage of rocket attacks fired into Israel in recent hours.
The journalists at these briefings did an excellent job of exposing the hypocrisy of the administration's positions.
Do Palestinians have a right to self-defense?
We believe in the concept of self-defense. We believe it applies to any state.
Confronting the attempts at both sidesing the killing of civilians with impunity.
What is this both sides thing? One side is occupying and the other side is being occupied. Would you care to explain what is the both sidism here?
Well, most recently we have called on all sides to de-escalate.
And at the same time, this refusal on the part of the Biden administration to recognize that Palestinians have any right to self-defense, something that they repeatedly emphasize Israel has.
You said, we believe that it, meaning the right to self-defense, applies to any state. Well, you see the problem, right? Do you regard Palestine as a state?
I was making a broader point not attached to Israel or Palestinians in that case.
Unless there is some radical shift in U.S. posture, and very quickly, the conclusion that we can draw is that Joe Biden believes that the Israeli government can ethnically cleanse Palestinian neighborhoods and that the Palestinians have no meaningful right of self-defense. Biden can no longer claim with any credibility to support a two-state solution and pay lip service to opposing Israeli settlements while simultaneously giving the shield of impunity to Israel's crimes. The question is being called right now.
Cientos de víctimas entre muertos y heridos en la bombardeo atacaron en el hospital Bautista en la Franja de Gaza, sin breve aviso o advertencia para la evacuación. El hospital albergaba un gran número de heridos, así como familias enteras que intentan de protegerse de las incursiones israelíes en la Franja de Gaza. Las reacciones internacionales y árabes siguieron. Después, el bombardeo del hospital. Jordania considera responsable a Israel y considera el ataque un hecho peligroso, mientras que el Parlamento árabe pide a la comunidad internacional que injerencia para detener la agresión de Israel, mientras que la Unión Africana considera el ataque un crimen de guerra. En Egipto, el presidente El Sisi advirtió continuación de las actuales operaciones militares tendría implicaciones humanitarias y de seguridad que podrían salirse de control. Y dijo, idea de desplazar a los palestinos el Sinaí significaba arrastrar Egipto, una guerra contra Israel. Biden confirmó la posición de su país junto a Tel Aviv y le brindó todo su apoyo. A nivel de base, manifestaciones salí en Beirut, Uman y varias otras capitales para denunciar el bombardeo del hospital y exigir un alto el fuego. Además de la catástrofe humanitaria de Gaza, causada por los bombardeos en curso, Organización Mundial de la Salud advierta riesgo de intoxicación y epidemias causadas por cortes de agua y subraya que debe estar preparada para prevenir brotes de enfermedades en la franja. Las consecuencias de agresión israelí abarca cancelación la cumbre entre Egipto, América, Palestina y Jordania, que estaba prevista para Amán. Ministerio de Relaciones Exteriores de Egipto explicaron la cancelación debido al ataque contra el Hospital Bautista de Gaza. Como Gaza se enfrenta a bombardeos y riesgos para la salud, la agencia de noticias del Líbano señaló que Israel utilizó municiones de fósforo para bombardear el sur y atacar a civiles. El jefe de Estado Mayor Ejército de Ocupación dijo que si Hezbollah cometía un error, sería destruido. Las Naciones Unidas han comentado sobre todos estos avances que el destino de la región Oriente Medio está ahora en juego.
With a curious observation on several other countries, written in 1714, second volume. It says here, this also a vulgar error that the Jews are all black. This is page 139. For this is only true of the Portuguese Jews, who marrying always among one another, beget children like themselves, and consequently, the swarthiness of their complexion is entailed upon their whole race, even in the northern regions. But the Jews who are originally of Germany, those, for example, I have seen at Prague, are not blacker than the rest of the countrymen. Though nobody can doubt that those of the Jewish nation are destitute of all authentic tradition, and that as being Jews, they have not any particular knowledge, neither of the laws or customs of their ancestors, or even of the Hebrew language. I have, however, been willing to take care of this to satisfy you, in asking several of their rabbis in Germany and Italy about what you had desired, with making them read some periods of Hebrew distinctly to observe how they pronounce it without long time here, page 141. In entering again into the particularities of your question, I will tell you that I have forgotten nothing, and it drove my curiosity further than yours, having not forgot the diverse doubtful things that are marked in the grammar, or which are the results of the different opinions of the grammaring. The answer I have then to you in a few words about this affair is this, that these Jews, black and white, have furnished me with nothing, absolutely nothing. Nothing that one can draw of any use. And indeed, what can they say to Christians, meaning white Christians, that the Christians do not know as well as they have? As well as they. Have they any secret source or any immediate revelation? Who are these people who pretend to teach each other? On the contrary, they are a poor sort of creatures, so filled with false notions, so conceited of their monstrous ideas that I would never advise young people to have any commerce with them for the fear of receiving from them some ridiculous prejudice. This goes for you black West Africans and you dumb ass Khazarians. I pray to God that you get the destruction that you're wishing upon these other nations. The nerve of you to say that, 35 of us have been running by Edom and 35 by Ishmael, but you're neither one of them, you damn demon. You black and white mofos are going to get destruction. All praises to the Most High. Book called Facts. I'm only going to read the blue section right here, okay? Just so you guys can be aware. It says, Judaism, Pharaohism became Talmudism. Talmudism became medieval rabbinism, and medieval rabbinism became modern rabbinism. But throughout these changes in name, the spirit of the ancient Pharisees survives, unaltered, from Palestine to Babylonia, from Babylonia to Africa, Italy, Spain, France, and Germany, from these to Poland, Russia, and Eastern, generally, ancient Pharisaism has wandered, demonstrates the enduring importance which attaches to Pharisaism as a religion movement. Among the innumerable misfortunes which have befallen, the most fatal is its consequence is the name Judaism. Worse still, the Jews themselves, who have gradually come to call their religion Judaism, yet neither in biblical nor post-biblical, neither in Talmudic nor in much later time is the term Judaism ever heard. The Bible speaks of the religion as Torah, Yahweh, the instructions or the moral law revealed by Yahweh. In other places as Yireth Yahweh, the fear, reverence of Yahweh. These and other appellations continued for many ages to stand for the religion, to distinguish it from Christianity and Islam. The Jewish philosophers sometimes designated as the faith or belief of the Jews. It was Flavius Josephus, writing it for the instructions of the Greek and Romans who coined the term Judaism in order to pit it against Hellenism. By Hellenism was understood the civilization, compromising language, poetry, religion, art, and science, manner, customs, institutions, which had spread from Greece, its original home, over the vast region of Europe, Asia, and Africa. The Christian eagerly seized upon the name. The Jews themselves, who intensely detested the traitor Josephus, refrained from reading his work. Hence, the term Judaism coined by Josephus remained absolutely unknown to them. It was only in comparatively recent times, after the Jews became familiar with the modern Christian literature, that they began to name their religion Judaism. Again, this is from the book Facts Are Facts. And we're going to see a video right now. The Talmud consists of 63 books of legal, ethical, and historical writings of ancient rabbis. It was edited 5 centuries after the birth of Jesus. It is a compendium of law and lore. It is a legal code which forms the basis of Jewish religion law, and it is the textbook used in the training of rabbis. Remember, the scriptures say, clearly the scriptures say, it is not coincidental that these demons, you damn Khazar converts, we wish destruction for you. And I really hope to the Most High that it comes sooner than later. And to be honest with you, I want you to suffer. Ye that not, it says here, Deuteronomy 4:2, ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you. So he says that in Deuteronomy. Guess what he says here? I think it's in 18 or 19. It talks about not adding to or taking from. Let's see. It's one of here. I cannot remember, to be honest with you. But it says here, whoever takes from or adds to, it's in Deuteronomy, in Matthew, and in Revelation, consistently reminding us not to add to or take from. But it's very clear. Y'all demons don't give a damn.
History is coming down, but this is now as clear as day. That world history is coming down to the two powers, the Western world against Yishmael. There's 70 nations. 70 nations are really 35 and 35. And 35 of them are controlled by what's called Edom, the Western world, what many consider America. And 35 are controlled by Yishmael, the Arab Muslim world. And this is our tradition, that the two main Ummah Sa'olam are Esav and Yishmael, Edom and Yishmael. These are the only two nations that will exist until Mashiach comes. Rome and Persia. Who's going to be the last man standing? Esav or Yishmael? By the way, my message to both of them is we wish both of them tremendous hatzlacha. They should wipe each other out. No, none of them should be standing. Both sides should mamish be matzliach as much as possible. We wish both sides tremendous hatzlacha in their avodah of wiping out the other party. Rome will fall to Persia, which means Edom will fall to Yishmael. Rome will fall to Persia. In other words, America falls to Yishmael. And what the Navi is saying is that Edom at the end of days will be carried off by Persia. In other words, Persia, Yishmael will completely destroy the Western world. That is the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi. So then, according to him, we're not in the right country right now. Edom, the Edom, Esav, America, they're so rotten. They never accept the yoke of heaven. So what's God going to do to Edom? He's going to have to remove him from this world. You know what else he's going to have to do? V'shachar oisa lefanav. He's going to have to shecht him. And at the end of days, God is going to slaughter Edom. What's a kingdom? A kingdom is somebody who usurps the glory, majesty, and power of the Jewish people.
Ridiculous, fucking stupid Khazar. You know, it's so funny that they want to just walk away from them being them. You know, like, oh, Edom's gonna get it. Did you guys forget? Did you guys forget so-called Jews that you've been here since 1492? You are part of this. Please, bro. All right, so we done. And the Khazar Messiah is coming. Albert Pike says political bias and Islam would delete each other, and the rest would see the light. Wow, political bias and Islam. Well, if you consider political bias as part of Christianity, maybe. Look, man, I don't know about that. Anyways, I want to share this video with you guys. I did this video in 2022, and I don't think I ever got to share it with y'all. And if I did, I might have done it one fucking time. And a lot of us have a good memory of our fathers. Some of us have bad memory of our fathers, you know. But I want you to remember that they only knew as much as they could. Okay? Just like, thank you, brother, for sharing this. Just like our mothers fell for this fucking image, which is the Hernan Cortez flag. So Hernan Cortez, the invaders that came to this country in 1492, had this flag, this image in front of them, in their shield. So how in the fuck is that Donatstein? How the fuck is that? It's not possible, bro. This is the shield that Hernan Cortez used when he showed up, bro. This is what they gave you so you can worship their fucking nutsacks. They're juicy, nasty, sweaty fucking nutsacks, bro. That's what you guys are doing. You guys are believing a buffoonery of religion that is not even in the scriptures. Matter of fact, that's the Queen of Heaven, right? Reina de los cielos. Queen of Heaven. Look, I'm going to show you so you guys can actually see what I mean. I'm not making this shit up. Our brothers and sisters who are caught up in this Christianity bullshit need to understand this. Look, I'm going to Queen of Heaven. I'm going to search for that, okay? And it shows up. And Jeremiah talks a lot about that. So now that you see these verses, okay, I'm going to move them over so then you can actually read them. For you guys that are new to this channel and are still Christmas Christian involved, Jeremiah 7:18 says that the children gather wood and the father kindles the fire and the women net their dough and make cakes to the Queen of Heaven. Doesn't that happen every December 12th? And to pour out drinks offerings unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger. You know, what do you call them? Pinches sopes. What else do you call that drink? Right? Atole. You make dough, you make drink offerings. Every December 12th, you guys do that. Jeremiah 44:17 talks about the same. But we will certainly do whatever things go forth out of our own mouth, but to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven. You guys want to see it in Spanish, cabrones? Por el contrario, seguiremos haciendo todo lo que dijamos. I'm sorry. Let me read it again. Jeremías 44:17. Por el contrario, seguiremos haciendo todo lo que dijimos que haríamos. Seguiremos ofreciendo incienso y ofrendas de vino a la reina del cielo. Reina del cielo, güey. Reina del Cielo. Who the fuck is that? If you just Google La Reina del Cielo, you'll find out and see that it's this fucking bitch right here. Ah, no mames, güey. La Reina de los Cielos, güey. De los cielos. This is it right here. You see that right there? Boom. This was the image of Hernan Cortez flag right there, bro. You guys need to stop fucking lying. Thank you, brother, for sending me that. That's powerful. That is so fucking powerful. You guys need to understand what that picture's about. And that's what it turned into. Yet the Bible that you guys love and read, you Christmas Christians, tell you that don't worship the Queen of Heaven. But guess who the Queen of Heaven is? Reina de los Cielos, güey. Who the fuck is that, dude? You're worshiping an African demon. Technically. Technically, you're worshiping an African demon. A European concept just to make sure that they can have control over you. That's not new at all. The Queen of Heaven and her son, Jesus, you know, forget about the creator. But, I mean, shit, man. Am I lying? How come they don't even pay attention to this stuff? Reina de los Cielos, whatever. Como siempre lo hemos hecho y como lo hiciéramos nuestros antepasados. Como lo hicieron nuestros antepasados. Nuestros reyes y jefes en las ciudades de Judá y en las calles de Jerusalén. Entonces teníamos comida y en abundancia, nos iban bien y no teníamos ningún sufrimiento. So they're like, we're going to worship the Queen of Heaven because at that time we were doing well. That's what they say. This is your Queen of Heaven, Reina de los Cielos. You can't deny that. You can't deny that shit. So, message to all my brothers and sisters, man. I appreciate you guys very much, bro. And I would say this to you: if you guys had a bad relationship with your father, or you should have a good one, but if you had a bad one, pay attention to this, man. A lot of times we forget about like how much information they had before we got to this point. You guys have a good night, man. I hope you guys appreciate the information. So please share it. Hey, and by the way, look, there's 125 subscribers. Hey, man, that's only about 135 subscribers that we need to get to 1,000. I wonder what that's like. Bro, help me get that shit. Let's get it. Let's see what that's like and see what doors it opens. All right? Y'all have a good night, man.
Muchos libros he leído de grandes y buenos autores y en sus páginas mejores nunca esta verdad he leído. De que un padre vive oprimido y ninguno lo alienta y todo el mundo comenta que lo más grande es la madre. Y el sacrificio de un padre, ninguno lo tiene en cuenta. Hay que pensar y escribir el sacrificio de un padre, porque no solamente la madre es la que sabe sufrir. Con esto quiero decirle que un padre sabe querer y por sus hijos y su mujer, con amor va a trabajar y hasta es capaz de robar, pero para traerles que comer. La madre le hace un perjuicio a su hijo por un error, porque debido a su gran amor, con su mimo le da vicio. En cambio el padre para mí hace juicio, aunque su amor es severo. Él los acaricia muy poco, pero los hace marchar derecho para subir el repecho de este mundo embustero. Él les lleva el pan sagrado amasado con sudor y por sus hijos con amor él vive sacrificado y por eso estoy de su lado. Aunque el pecho me taladre, está bien el cantado de a la madre con ese amor infinito, pero también un poquito hay que acordarse del padre.
¡Esa! El caudillo de Sur Emiliano Zapata. El caudillo del sur Emiliano Zapata. Año de 1910, la tempestad se avecina. Morelos arde en coraje, la injusticia predomina. Los ricos de las haciendas se adueñaron del terreno, dejando el pueblo hambriado, tragándose su veneno. Pero en Anenecuico un gallo ya se plantaba. Emiliano Zapata, el hombre que no temblaba. Tenía 30 años apenas, la mirada bien clavada, viendo cómo a sus hermanos la tierra le fue robada. No pidió permiso al gobierno ni anduvo con papeleos. Junto a los hombres del pueblo se acabaron los rodeos. Fueron directo al lindero con los rifles en la mano. Derribaron las bardas que puso el terrateniente tirano. ejército profesional. Cayó ante las guerrillas del ejército comunal. Tierra y libertad, la tierra es de quien la trabaja. Aquí no se dobla nadie, aquí nadie se nos raja. Con el fusil en la mano y el sombrero bien plantado, Zapata vive en el cerro, el caudillo respetado. Tierra y libertad, el grito del pueblo ruge contra el gobierno corrupto que al descalzo lo estruja. Puro fuego en el sur. Ya la revolución cabalga, el gobierno manda su armada. Federales con cañones buscan dejar la zona arrasada. En Cuautla lo acorralaron, el cerco estaba cerrado. Miles de guachos armados, el caudillo interceptado. Cualquiera se hubiera rendido, cualquiera pide clemencia, pero Zapata en su sangre lleva pura resistencia. Estudió la sombra, la noche midió el peligro de frente. Le dijo a su caballería: morimos como gente. Montó su cuaco con rabia, sacó el machete y el fierro y lideró una carga suicida. Bajando directo del cerrabalazo limpio, rompieron las líneas del enemigo. Las balas le rozaban la ropa, el destino era su testigo. 1914 la capital fue testigo. Junto con Pancho Villa entraron como un castigo. Llegaron a Palacio Nacional los campesinos triunfantes, la gente de los guaraches, los de las manos curtidas y andantes. Le dijeron: Emiliano, siéntate en la silla presidencial. La miro con desprecio, con un instinto real. Esa madre está maldita, vuelve loco al hombre bueno. Yo no busco el poder, yo solo vengo por lo nuestro. 1919, abril en el calendario. Chinameca se viste con el traje del calvario. Guajardo prometió unión, pero esconde la traición. 100 fusiles apuntan al centro del corazón. Entró cabalgando al patio, la trampa estaba lista. Balas a quemarropa terminaron con la vista. Cayó el hombre al suelo, el suelo que tanto amó. Pero el fuego de su alma nunca nadie lo apagó. Creyeron que matándolo la idea moriría, que el campesino ciego al latifundio volvería. Pero el cuerpo expuesto no apagó la rebelión. El mito de la huelga se volvió una religión. Dicen en los pueblos que el caudillo no cayó, que el compadre en su puesto la descarga recibió, que cabalga en las cumbres en su gran caballo blanco, vigilando los ejidos desde el cerro más barranco. Su muerte fue el seguir del artículo 27, la reforma agraria escrita a punta de maquete. El zapatismo vive, no es una foto del pasado, es el puño en alto contra el rico y el Estado. Tierra y libertad, la tierra es de quien la trabaja. Aquí no se dobla nadie, aquí nadie se nos raja. Con el fusil en la mano y el sombrero bien plantado, Zapata vive en el cerro, el caudillo respetado. Zapata vive, la tierra no se vende. El fusil sigue limpio, del sur hasta el norte. Tierra y libertad. Tierra y libertad. ¡Fuera! ¡Fuera! ¡Fuera, yanquis de América Latina!
Llegaron con promesas y banderas de libertad. Dejaron sangre, deuda y una falsa paz. Hablan de democracia desde un trono de acero, pero nuestras calles conocen su verdadero imperio. Robaron tierras, nombres, sueños y pan. Con dictadores firmaron la seguridad. Desde el norte mandan órdenes al sur, pero este pueblo ya perdió el miedo y alzó la luz. No somos patio trasero, no somos colonia más. La historia se escribe en fuego y hoy la vamos a cambiar. ¡Fuera, yanquis de América Latina! Esta tierra no se vende, se camina. ¡Fuera, yanquis de América Latina! Nuestra voz no se silencia ni se inclina. ¡Fuera! América Latina no se domina. América Latina no se domina. Países militares militares sobre pueblos sin voz, corporaciones mandando más que Dios. Llaman ayuda al saqueo legal, pero la dignidad no la pueden comprar. Desde el río Bravo hasta la Patagonia, un mismo grito rompe la hegemonía. Indígena, obrero, estudiante y canción, somos millones latiendo en revolución. No somos su negocio, no somos su botín. Aquí manda la memoria de los que lucharon hasta el fin. Fuera yanquis de América Latina, ni bloqueos ni balas nos arrodillan. Fuera yanquis de América Latina, soberanía viva, libre y combativa. Fuera, fuera, fuera. América Latina no se domina, América Latina no se levanta. Golpes, no más mentiras, no más imperios sobre nuestras vidas. La patria es grande, la lucha también. Si tocan a uno, respondemos 100. Fuera yanquis de América Latina, desde el barrio hasta la cordillera. Fuera yanquis de América Latina, este continente ya decidió su bandera.
Mi gente, por ahí andan las noticias que según quieren deportar a toda la raza trabajadora y les hicimos este corrido, compa Kevin.
Para que le pongan oído, dice más o menos así, compadre. Años tengo trabajando de este lado, buscando el mentado sueño americano.
Los gringos aquí ya no nos quieren, que según les estorbamos.
Se menciona mucho en los noticieros, traen muchos mitotesos del gobierno.
Resulta ya quieren deportarme, en eso no estamos de acuerdo.
Resulta que por ser inmigrante mi valor es insignificante. Si supieran lo que batallamos para salir adelante.
Ya con día salimos a chambear, no creo que nadie le hagamos mal. Ya quisiera verlos trabajando como lo hace este ilegal. ¿Y qué culpa tenemos nosotros los inmigrantes por querer buscar nuestros sueños? ¡Ánimo, mi gente! Y no se me rajen.
Y así suenan los de la norte, compa Jesús Méndez. Puro elegante récord, mi viejo. ¡Ay, ay, ay!
Unos días no duermo y otros como mal, pa' que a mi familia nada le pueda faltar.
Se murió mi madre y a mi padre, espero volverlo a mirar.
Canto por mi gente, no se vayan a agüitar, que Diosito es grande y de esta ley nos va a salvar.
Nomás acuérdense de Florida, nos volvieron a ocupar.
Resulta que por ser inmigrante mi valor es insignificante. Si supieran lo que hemos sufrido para salir adelante.
Día con día salimos a chambear, no creo que nadie le hagamos mal. Ya quisiera verlos trabajando como lo hace este ilegal.
Mesta isukame Claudia Shemo ya utayu. Shabete ya komera javeni. Kana pokayue. Tita pero yemu que ak.
De donde soy, no nos rajamos. Cualquier tierra la trabajamos. El sacrificio jamás es en vano. Que hasta el espacio hemos llegado. Where we are from, no nos rajamos. And what we dream of lo realizamos. Gran paisano, hermano, amigo, soy mexicano. Y cambiamos de lugar, no de bandera. Verde, blanco y rojo lo llevo en las venas. Como el águila volamos sin fronteras. Rompemos la malla que separa tierras. Y nacimos con legado de grandeza. Extraño mi rancho, también mi familia. Pueblo querido que no se me olvida. Aunque de este lado me trajo la vida. Siempre paradela como Pancho Villa. Y cambiamos de lugar, no de bandera. Verde, blanco, rojo lo llevo en las venas. Como el águila volamos sin fronteras. Rompemos la malla que separa tierras. Y nacimos con legado de grandeza.
A nuestras mujeres y madres inmigrantes, un ejemplo de fuerza y valor. ¡Y que viva México!
Y aunque el acta diga americano, hay en puro mexicano.
Y cambiamos de lugar, no de bandera. Verde, blanco y rojo lo llevo en mis venas.
Como el águila volamos sin fronteras. Rompemos la malla que separa tierras. Y nacimos con legado de grandeza.
Llaman a real. La Mercy. This is Cypher Nightmare.
¿Qué pasa, Otto?
It's original. Yo, watch you know. I see the girl them dancing a party smoker. Wine, 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 wine.
Give me the sense in your point, we won't take no coca.
Wine, 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 wine.
First, my friend, lady palava.
Wine, 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 wine.
Party turn up, shatter, dance, and soca.
Wine, 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 wine.
Este juego salvaje que te pego. Aquí queremos fiestas sin maquillar el ego. Si tan duro como el ego.
Pactos sangrientos de fuego. Si rompe la palabra te maldecimos luego. Llega la masacre para el tipo de revista. Machista y para la mona que va de lista. Sonamos en la calle y prendemos cada pista. Cuca, granca, pourón de mista. Baila como quiera, ya lo demás que le dé. Que todo fluya,
Que solo es tuya, mi friend. Esta vida loca te dirá cómo saben a toda la
bulla de los que quieran tu bien. Canta y buena será para todo aquel que quiera. Menos violencia temeraria para cualquiera. Brilla como una estrella en esta vida bella. Somos hermanos que borramos toda frontera.
rumba, suena la bomba que traemos los soldiers.
Gimme, 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 gimme some.
Esta penumbra que está que tumba, solo modo hardcore.
Hey, Karma, pasa marrón. Smoking at the ear, beer with a bun. We no a pop my lid that we no text no. Girl wine for me now, mulya no plow. But bitch they a but we no girl clown. Run quick forward, police to your chow. Up in your belly say me can't take it out. Can't test way dark, better just slow. Batman no ronca. No es mis pies al camisa, sino al camisa escolta. Monta la bici rica, monta. Tight pussy girl, straight from Colombia. Wine and jiggle sobre meu tota l'estona. Santifico el teu punani des de l'Ebre fins a Osona. Monument a Empúria Brava, monument a Barcelona. Fem sonar l'alarma antiincendis de la zona. Germà, passa'm el ron. Smoking at the ear, beer with a bun. We no pop my lid that we no test no. Girl wine for me, mulya no flow.
I feel the girl them dancing a party smoker. Wine, 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 wine.
Give me the sense in your point, we won't take no coca.
Wine, 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 wine.
First my friend, lady palava.
Wine, 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 wine.
Party turn up, shut a dance and soca.
Wine, 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 wine.
Lo de esa gata ritual, porque el danzar la posee, de junta con de cristal, pero su IG no me lo sé. Luz de neón blanca nunca, lila como el pelo de Turanga. Bossa blanca, suena munga, no va guiar pa' que rompa. Sabe que sube mi tensión, pero esa asesina no tiene corazón. Sin, bon, real, bad, no va guiar pa' que rompa. Vengo mal hasta el hueso, mi equipo está en eso y no hay vacantes. Nunca fue solo porque eso del ritmo estoy preso, que no me falte. Venimos ready para que lo aguante. Puto Batman, quita de delante. Te vamos a dar la guillotina que aniquila como murderer. Ey.
Turn up, that booty's on
fire. No queda tiempo de andar con vampire, don't stop.
Ajustate la malla.
Make them sweat sin estar en la playa, girl. Humo con sabor a papaya. Style y vaya donde vaya. Todos los dreadies van pa' allá. Scooby, reggaeton saltraya. Y backshot to backshot, we tele to telele. Esto no lo ves por la telele. Corre, ve y dile a tu frenene. Vente que nadie te frene, tu nenene. Son screws del Mediterráneo. Tot underground soterrani. They never run away. Man no entra el panic. Lita igual pa' el que se rani. Pasamos revista aquí como la milili. Son man del palo y kilili. Mr. Gran Campeón, nigga, cucape. Son lo que son y no
son unos
I
wannabe.
feel the
girl them dancing a party smoker. Wine, 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 wine.
Give me the sense in your point, we won't take no coca.
Wine, 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 wine.
First my friend, lady palava.
Wine, 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 wine.
Party turn up, shut a dance and soca.
Wine, 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 wine.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. Tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros ante esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú Tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.